I'm Dr. Susan Blakeney. I'm an optometrist in community practice, and I'm also advisor to the College of Optometrists and to the Primary Care Trust in Kent.
So any problems with your eyes? Any particular reason for coming in to see?
An eye examination basically checks to make sure you can see as well and as clearly as possible, and what specs you need, if any, to enable you to do that. But it also checks, very importantly, the health of your eyes. So it's important to have that done on a regular basis. The eye examination doesn't hurt at all. What we normally do is get you to read the letters on the chart, then we'll go on to check the health of your eyes by looking inside your eyes with a little torch, or maybe by putting your chin onto an instrument called a slit lamp. We'll then see whether you have eye diseases such as glaucoma by checking the pressure inside your eyes, and maybe checking your visual fields by looking, you look into an instrument and indicate whether you see lights that are flashing around the outside of your vision. We then go on to make sure that you're seeing as well as possible. Your optometrist will be able to advise you individually as to how often you ought to have your eyes tested. It's normally around every 2 years, but it can vary depending on individual circumstances. So best thing to do is to book an eye examination and ask your optometrist when they'd like to see you again. The cost of an eye examination will vary from one practice to another. There is no national guideline as to how much practices should charge for their eye examination, so if you're worried about the cost, best thing to do is to phone up some local practices and ask them how much they charge for that service. If you're in certain categories, you don't have to pay for a sight test at all, because the NHS pays for it for you, and those are basically people who are under 16, those who are under 19 in full-time education, people who are over 60, also people with various medical conditions, such as if you're diabetic, you don't have to pay for an NHS sight test, or if you're over 40 with a first-degree relative with glaucoma, or if you're on certain benefits, such as pension credit or income support. The people that are entitled to have their employers pay for their sight test are those that are classed as DSE users, and you would need to ask your HR department whether you actually fall into that category or not. The days of the NHS spectacles have long gone now, and now the way it works is the NHS gives people who are eligible, so generally it's those under 19 and in full-time education, or those that are on low income, they give them money towards the cost of their spectacles in the form of a voucher, and then you can use that voucher towards the cost of any spectacles or indeed contact lenses.
Look at the top paragraph for me.
It's not true that wearing glasses makes your eyes get worse. There's no evidence for that. They normally get worse either because your eyes have grown and you're going more short-sighted, or sadly because you're getting older and you need your reading glasses more than you used to when you were younger. It's important to have your eyes tested regularly, even if you feel your vision is still okay. This is partly to make sure your vision is okay. You'd be surprised what people don't notice, because your vision can change over time and actually you still think it's all right, but actually it's considerably worse than it used to be. And especially if you're driving, it's important to make sure your vision is A1, obviously. Modern contact lenses are very safe nowadays and very easy to get used to, and there's very few people that actually can't get on with them. So if you have any questions about that, ask your optometrist when you have your eyes tested. It's important to be aware of what is normal sight for you, and we would recommend that everybody is aware of what is normal in each eye for them. So a useful little self-help check is actually to cover one eye and then cover the other eye, wearing your spectacles if you need them, and see if your vision is the same as usual in each eye. It's surprising how many people can lose quite a lot of sight in one eye without being aware of it, and if you're aware of your sight in each eye, then you're going to spot it earlier. People often ask me how they should choose an optometrist. Well, like all things, the best thing is to go on personal recommendation. So ask your friends, your neighbours, your GP if there's anyone local in particular they would recommend. And once you've found an optometrist you're happy with, stick with them, because they will then have the benefit of having all your clinical notes from the past to refer to, and that will mean they'll be able to give you a better service as far as letting you know whether your eyes have changed and whether you're likely to have problems with any new spectacles.
For more information, visit www.nhs.uk.